And we're back within the community. I'm Tiffany K, and I'm very excited of who I get to talk to today because my special guest has to do with the Society of Arts. And I absolutely love the arts. I grew up in it. So I'm really excited to have Karen Welch on. She's the executive director of the Louisa Arts Center. Karen, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Tiffany. I'm very well. How are you?
I am doing very well. And first off, let me just say, your accent I absolutely love. Just got to throw that out there.
You like my Louisian accent, do you?
I do. It's very nice to hear on the ears for the morning. But Karen, I'm really excited to talk to you today because you heard me just mention arts are a huge part of my life, and I know my co-host life as well. But before we get into any of that, let's just start off with the basics. For anybody who doesn't know, give me the rundown. Where is the Louisa Arts Center located? What is it, and what are you bringing to the community?
Okay, so the actual Arts Center is located in the heart of Louisa County. It's actually in the town of Louisa. And I often say it's on the wrong side of the tracks. And I mean that in a very, very good way. We actually have a railway line going all the way through the town, and Main Street is on one side. We're just the other side of that in the town building. We're in a beautiful building, actually. It was built originally in 1907 as a school, a high school.
Oh, wow.
And then it went into disrepair in about 1987, I think it was. And then the townspeople brought it back to life for the town to have their office, a 105-seat theatre, a little art gallery, and beautiful classrooms for all ages to come and have art classes, arts and craft classes. So yeah, it's a beautiful building, as well as a great place for the community to come and learn and enjoy arts and culture and concerts, etc.
That's amazing. I always say art is the main heart of society, and without it, we're not an evolving culture or evolving people. So it's very cool to be able to have that in all areas, and especially locally for some who may not be able to be exposed to it all the time.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, we have a really lovely vision, which is what we basically say to people is envision a magical place where everyone has an opportunity to experience theatre, music, arts and education in a community setting where creativity comes alive. So that's our vision, and I love the fact that we talk about it being a magical place, because straight away it kind of, as you mentioned earlier, it takes you back to your childhood, growing up, art and crafts and, music, it's all very magical. And we try to, when people come into our doors, we close the doors and just take you away from the trials and tribulations of everyday life, just for a little while anyway.
And that's the best thing about art, right? It can take you out of those realities. No matter what's going on, you have a safe place to go to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Karen, I said, as you mentioned, I said earlier that it goes back to my childhood. I grew up as a dancer and in theater and all kinds of arts. And so I have to ask you, how did you get involved with this? How did you become the executive director?
Well, that's a very interesting story.
I'm excited.
Well, I came to live in America. I've always wanted to live in America, and I came to work in the British Embassy in Washington D.C.
Oh wow!
And then, which was fabulous. I didn't really know about this area at all. I didn't know an awful lot about Virginia, and certainly not about Louisa. I met an Australian. Where else would a British lady and an Australian meet and fall in love, but in good old USA. So, he brought me down to Lake Anna. He had a house down there. And then I decided, well, if we're living here, I'd like to invest in the area. And I met a lovely lady and said, I'd like to maybe do some volunteer work. Do you know any areas that, you feel there is a need? And she basically said, well, my passion is the Arts Center. Would you come and help? So I agreed to help for a couple of hours a week. First job they asked me to do was to write a job description for the executive director. They wanted to ask someone to be the executive director. I did that. The person they asked turned the opportunity down. So they then said, well, would you like the job?
Oh, wow.
So my response was, well, yeah, can you just give me the job description back? I might need to change a few things. So I said I would just maybe do it for 2 or 3 months, see how I got on and how they got on. Because my background mostly is in business, in non-profit business. So I'm there to kind of support it from a business perspective. I actually celebrated my 4th anniversary, 4 years at the weekend. So
congratulations!
Thank you.
Wow, I love that story. Full of coincidences. Who would have thought, as you said, coming over to the U.S. and then meeting an Australian in the U.S. and then staying here.
Exactly.
It's a fun story to tell. Well, we're happy to have you, and we're so happy that you are part of this and are able to share all this information with the community. Growing up for you, was arts a huge part of your life as well?
It was, yes, and I'm a keen photographer. So although I ended up majoring in leadership and management and business in that side of it, I loved to do plays at school. I was a little actress at school, and always liked to be the main part. And say particularly, I love art and the photography side. So it's nice to actually work in an organisation that I enjoy as well. But I mean, we have such a variety of events and activities in the centre. I mean, I mentioned we have a 205-seat theatre.
Mm-hmm.
At the weekend, on Saturday, we actually had 50 beautiful singers on our stage from the Virginia State University Gospel Choral.
Oh, wow.
And that was an amazing event. They were actually on America's Got Talent. They were, I think, semi-finalists or something. So they came to us on Saturday. We then, on the 22nd of April, we've got soft rock, a concert with John Ford Coley. And then on the 6th of May, we've got jazz pianist Tony Desari with us. And then for all you country lovers, on June the 3rd, we have Trey Twitty and Taylor Lynn.
Ooh.
And yeah, they're coming, and they obviously, pay tribute to Conway Twitty and the late great Loretta Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming on our fairgrounds. We've got a fairgrounds right next door to the Arts Centre, and we have outdoor concerts there. So that means, bring a lawn chair, spread around and dance your heart out if you really want to. And yes, so that's on June the 3rd. They've been with us once before in the theatre, but we sold way oversold the theatre tickets, so we decided to take them out onto the fairgrounds. So that should be an amazing concert in the summer.
Wow, you have I love how it's all different types of art too. You just told me about a country concert, from choral singers to a little bit of soft rock. I think it's an amazing area and program to have, and I may have to come out for that country concert. I'm just saying.
Oh, absolutely, Tiffany. Be my guest. Come along and be my guest. I'd love to have you out there.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's only one part of it. I mentioned also we're very privileged to have an art gallery in the centre, beautiful little space dedicated to art exhibitions. And we tend to have about 6 a year, and we either have, a single artist or a duo. And then twice a year, we actually have an open show. And we actually opened the open show last Friday, and that's local artists. And Tiffany, you'll be amazed at the talent that we have in the local area. So we've drawn from all over the area. People have submitted their work, and that's on display. And that's for any age. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what age you are. So that will be on display until the 19th of May.
Oh, wow.
Which is fabulous. So, and it's, come to the Arts Centre. The Arts Centre actually is, the address is 212 Fredericksburg Avenue in Louisa. And we have the gallery open over the lunch period every day from about 11 until 2:30. You can just wander in, wander around, have a look. And some of them are for sale. In fact, quite a lot of the pieces of art are for sale. So if you have a little corner that you'd like to purchase a nice piece of unique art, then please come along.
Wow. I love what you just said there of putting it back into the community. Because as you said, there's so much talent around here. We see it all the time when you go out for lunches or different things, especially in the Fredericksburg area and, of course, in Louisa. And it's just so nice to be able to allow those artists to have a place for their work. Because a lot of times they don't, unfortunately.
Absolutely, and I also realised actually very quickly that when I started to work there that there were some areas of the community that were not coming into the centre, and it's a beautiful centre. However, there are some parts of the community, for whatever reason, aren't able to come to us. And I felt that really I wanted to share what we do with as many of our patrons as possible. So I had an idea to get an old school bus and redecorate it as an arts bus, like a mobile arts bus.
Oh, wow.
And take it out into the community. And I managed to, it took some time to do it. I was doing it through COVID, but I managed to get it all done. We're still renovating the inside, we're trying to put in some air conditioning, some heating and lighting and that kind of thing. But I've taken it out last year to, over the summer period, to some of our underserved areas, particularly those where children, may be left alone over the summer period. Their parents have to work, and we take art and craft activities out to them for free. And we actually do that in collaboration with the community cafe, which is part of the Louisa school system. They will take out free lunches for the children as well. And I tell you something, Tiffany, it literally moves my heart whenever I see the children running to the arts bus to come and do an activity and sit and have something to eat in the day. It's an amazing program that we run.
Wow, my heart, it just warms me thinking about it anyways, because a lot of times we don't realize during the summers, the parents are working, the kids can get bored easily, they need something to do. And on top of that, if the lunch is their only meal of the day, sometimes that goes away when school goes away. So that you're able to partner together with that is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's how it started, but I've started to expand into other groups. So we went out a couple of months ago to JABA, which is our the area board for aging. So they meet up, the elderly do, and we took the arts bus to them, which they thought was fabulous, and we took some activities to the elderly. Some of them, as I say, aren't able to get to the centre because of travel or mobility issues.
Right.
And also we have some fantastic groups around here and organizations that support other members of our community that have, different needs. Some of them may have, mental disabilities or other needs that really, they meet up together and, don't necessarily always come into other areas of the community. So we come to them. My program, I call it the MAOP, the Mobile Arts Outreach Program. So if anybody is interested in getting involved, we're always looking for sponsors and donors to help us, renovate the bus, but they want to get involved in a voluntary way. That's certainly a way to support as well.
Wow, so many questions I have now after everything we've talked about. I have even more. So let me start with this. I want to go back for a second because you had said you came up with this idea for the mobile arts bus as part of kind of during COVID, right?
Yes.
And let me ask you, you think that's a big reason why you guys are able to thrive after COVID as well? Because I know personally, theater and the arts definitely had a tougher time through it. They had to shut down, and it took away a lot of opportunities for kids and adults as well to kind of escape the reality of what was going on.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, I had only been working there for 10 months. And in fact, when I first got there, I had my business head on as well. And I was looking at how we could make sure that, I think I said to the board of directors in my first meeting with them, that I would be looking to make sure that we were financially stable so that, just in case something happened, if we ever had to close the centre down,
right,
that we would be able to survive. 10 months later, we had to close the centre down because of COVID. And I think one of the board members jokingly said, did you foresee this?
You predicted it.
Yes. And please don't blame me for this one. But what it did make me do was, like everybody had to do, we had to pivot. So I had to close down. I closed down for 4 months. So the income that we got from, from ticket sales or from donations, that dried up. And I basically had to pivot and look at grants, trying to secure as many grants as possible. And obviously, a lot of the government grants came out, which was fabulous. Mm-hmm. But also, I was looking at rentals. I was renting some of our facilities out to private groups and to churches, just to help us get through. And I decided when it got to the summertime, I just thought, well, we can do little events outdoors. Outdoors is great. People can spread out with their easels and their paints, or we can do some things outdoors. So I had kind of a soft opening even through COVID, where I was actually doing things as outdoors or doing small groups. And that worked really well. So as far as our community was concerned, the Art Centre was there throughout. They really didn't miss a beat. And it did take, a while for everybody's confidence and comfort levels to, increase. But we're now back to full capacity, sell-out shows. We as you said, we didn't only survive, we thrived. And we're in a better position now, I think, than we've ever been.
I absolutely love hearing that, because you not only, as you said, you just said it, I'm going to repeat it again, you survived, you thrived. So my next question for you is, what's the future of Louisa Arts Center? You made it through COVID, you've thrived, you have amazing shows, sold out shows, so much help and love from the community. So what's the future plans?
Well, I mean, the world's our oyster. I'm trying to make the Art Centre used as much as possible. So I'm trying to support local groups. We have some of the gospel groups that want to come in and do programs and have bands. I've got a lovely lady who wants to support some of the children who are teenagers and don't have a lot to do in the evenings, and she wants to have like an after-school club. That one I think is going to be like a dance club. I've got another lady who's going to do like a singing club. And then, of course, with our concert series, I've actually decided to do something different next season. And this our season starts around about August, September. Okay. And I've decided to have a lot of try some tribute bands. So we're going to start on with our outdoor concert on the fairgrounds in August with a Beach Boys tribute band called Still Surfing.
Ooh, good choice. Good choice.
That will be wonderful. My father loved the Beach Boys, so I'm going to be thinking about him constantly when we have that one. And then if anybody likes the Eagles or Led Zeppelin or the Beatles or even Michael Jackson, we're looking to secure those bands, and we'll probably have like one a month. Mostly indoors, mostly inside the theatre, plus our usual bluegrass. We have some great bluegrass bands, and of course our country bands.
Well, you just sold me on all of that.
We're getting that together at the moment. We'll have our brochure will be coming out, and it will go out around the whole of the area, Fredericksburg area as well. So Louisa County, Spotsylvania County, Mineral, it'll be all over the area, and we'll send out the brochure with the new season, and that will be coming out in July.
I am so excited to hear about all the future plans that you have, because it sounds like it's just going to keep growing. And if you haven't checked out Louisa Arts Center yet, you need to go ahead and see everything that they can offer. And Karen, where can they go to find out more information?
So if you want to go to our website, that's always kept up to date, and that is louisaarts with an S.org. Or, as I say, you can pop into the centre, and the centre's address is 212 Fredericksburg Avenue, Louisa. Obviously, everybody's welcome to come in, but all the information is on our website, and you can actually purchase tickets on there as well.
I love hearing that. And I do have another question for you. You talked earlier about volunteering and sponsorships and donations. So if people are interested in volunteering or giving a donation or just helping out in any way, how can they get involved?
Oh, there's many ways to get involved. I mean, for the sponsorships and donations, we can't actually run any of our activities without people's financial support. So if anybody is interested in any of the bands that I've mentioned, or if they're interested in any particular, activities, we're always looking for people to sponsor. We then have a lot of businesses as well that sponsor, so we can then promote those, the businesses. We promote them at every event. We promote them on our social media and on our website. So once again, on the website, louisaarts louisaarts.org. There's an area where you can press for sponsorship and donations, and it will also give you a list of some of our projects. So if you are interested in, for example, our mobile arts outreach program with the Arts Bus, we've got a list there of some of the, some of the donations we need. So sometimes it's not even just money. People will, sometimes give services. We've got our local builders that are helping to put some tables and chairs inside the bus. So sometimes they'll give, their time or their, or equipment. And the same with inside the theatre. We have wonderful volunteers who are ushers or sell our concessions for us. So there's plenty of opportunities. Once again, either give us a call at the Arts Centre, and the number is 540-967-2200, or go online on our website, and you can see all of the different areas, volunteering, donating, sponsors, anything like that. You'll be able to access it on there as well.
And anybody can volunteer who wants to go ahead and volunteer?
Absolutely. Yes, we welcome everybody. We can discuss all the different areas that we need volunteers for. And yes, we would welcome anyone to come along.
Wow, I've learned a lot already from this. And I'm kind of newish to the area still. I've only been here about 2 years. So hearing something like this, and it's kind of something I've been looking for, and what you do for the community and just bringing art back into people's lives, I have to say thank you, and thank you to everybody who is a part of that, because what I've always said it, art is the heart of society. So I think you're doing such needed work right now.
I appreciate that, Tiffany, and I look forward to welcoming you to the Arts Centre, hopefully sometime soon.
I definitely will plan on being there. Hey, you got my attention with country, so I'm all in for that.
Awesome.
But thank you so much, Karen, for talking with me today. Karen Welch is the Executive Director of Louisa Arts Center, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and anyone who has not checked out Louisa Arts Center, make sure to go see it.
That's great. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Take care.
Bye-bye. And that'll do it for this week's In the Community. If you are a nonprofit and need to bring attention to your cause or organization, please reach out through this station's website, and we will see you next week.